How's it going, folks? It has been another day of pain, disappointment, and misery in the crypto markets, but I do believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. When we're actually going to get to enjoy some of that light, I do not know, but let me explain what I can see coming, and we can start to speculate on when we might see an end to the status quo, which has been, over the last week plus, down every day. Today, another down day in the crypto market, in Bitcoin, $76,398 as of right now. We do seem to be finding some floor of support at the previous resistance here at about $76,000 on the node. That is resistance that we put in on the 17th of March. But hard to deny the fact that we have been coming down consecutively every single day, every day consecutively over the last week, with a little bit of respite here on the 14th of May, but since then and prior to that, down every single day. Market sentiment down at 39. We are back in fear, and of course we are being spurred along by risk assets in general, right? S&P down again, $7,357. Only $7,357, which is still 4.81% higher than the previous all-time highs, which is absolutely ludicrous in my opinion. Market sentiment being driven by, of course, situation in the Middle East. Iran War Live, new US aggression will be resolutely thwarted. This is coming out of Iran. We did have Trump delaying planned attacks. This is day 81 of the Iran war. Trump delays attacks. Iran says that they won't surrender. And this is in the midst of peace talks really stalling. The US president says he's held off a scheduled attack on Iran after pressure from Gulf allies as renewed talks gain momentum amid tensions. Gaining momentum, but we're still not at a resolution. The Iran war is still happening, and yet the market, on a broader time horizon, is acting like things are better than before, which is certainly not the case, unfortunately. And we do see every time this, or every day that we see this extended, we see the knock-on effects of that. Petrol hitting the highest prices since the start of the war. This is in the UK specifically. The average price of unleaded petrol has risen to 158.52 pence a litre, its highest level since the start of the Iran war. Petrol and diesel prices surged when the conflict began on the 28th of February, with the production and transportation of energy across the Middle East slowing or stopping entirely, as we know, because of the Strait of Hormuz, a place which many people didn't even know the name of before this all started. Once again, S&P still at prices about 5% above all-time highs. There we go. Bitcoin, of course, not holding up quite so well. But we know that increase in oil prices, it doesn't just affect petrol prices, it affects inflation across the board, because it is basically impacting the means of production, right? The cost of oil, which is used as a ingredient, as a raw material in loads of products like plastics, also the petrol, the diesel used to power mechanization of production, etc. We do have a new Fed chair starting on Friday. New Fed chair faces pressure as oil prices fuel inflation, obviously. The US Federal Reserve is set to begin a new era after Kevin Warsh won a highly polarized 54-45 Senate confirmation vote to replace Jerome Powell as the Fed chair. He is being sworn in on Friday. Might see a market reaction to that. Basically, speculation on whether we see a continuation of policies enacted by Powell. Basically, this increased and sticky inflation, what you need to know about that, what you need to pay attention to about that, what the market is paying attention to about that is monetary policy, and generally more restricted monetary policy in response to sticky inflation, which basically means less liquidity flowing into markets. Overall, markets like less restrictive monetary policy. But we do have some potentially brighter news on the horizon. We've got the SEC preparing rules for tokenized stocks. Okay, the Securities and Exchange Commission is reportedly preparing to release its innovation exemption for tokenized stocks. The framework would open the door to trading digital versions of publicly traded company shares. The exemption could permit third-party tokens to track share prices without the backing or consent of the public companies. That marks a sharp shift in Washington's approach to on-chain securities. This could be absolutely massive for the amount, just the simple amount of liquidity that could flow into the markets on this basis. It's not necessarily just going to flow into Bitcoin, but it's obviously a very clear use case for crypto. It's obviously a very clear use case for getting more liquidity across the board into the markets in general. The SEC prepares innovation exemption for tokenized US stocks, set to release, excuse me, that's embarrassing. And we're back, set to release a major new framework as soon as this week that would enable blockchain-based trading of digital versions of publicly traded stocks. Look, in this market, I don't think that this is going to have a massive impact, right? It's Bitcoin isn't down today because we don't yet have this released. Maybe a little relief pump, very likely to be short-lived if we get some massive news out around this, if that is completely groundbreaking or clearer than it is expected to be. But let's be realistic, it is not the reason that the market is down. However, what we do see happening as we see consecutive down days is big portions of the market getting short into this, into the falling market, people jumping in on leverage shorts. This figure is slightly raised as of yesterday. More traders see the red candles, more traders take leverage short bets on the market. What happens when we eventually do see a turnaround is these shorts unwinding. We see people in these short positions emotionally capitulating and choosing to get out. We also see some of these positions being liquidated, and increasingly as prices come up. And we see traders exiting in order to try and avoid being liquidated. But the result is all the same, and it is buying on the market. I am encouraged in the bullish direction as we start to see prices stalling out at this level that we mentioned, the former resistance turns support. Of course, it's also coming into the pocket of the lows put in on the 29th of April. But once again, timing the bottom on something like this, very, very hard to do. However, we do have that headroom essentially, which is given way by the fact that the market is in general short right now, and the market is in general wrong short term. That's basically how I'm looking at things right now. I am interested and looking for a way to add to my Bitcoin long leverage position. Currently up $330 on this trade. If you've been following, you will know that we have taken a fair amount of profit out of this trade already. And that is since I've been in from $65,500. So yeah, small trade, small amount of risk left on, 0.03 BTC, but I am looking to add to that position potentially. And that is not customized, certainly not advice, it's certainly not a recommendation, just what I'm doing. And the only reason I'm doing it is because it is such a small amount that this trade is worth right now. And my bias, honestly, for the sort of midterm is to see a relief into these red days. Look at just look at how many consecutive red days we have had, and look at what usually happens after that occurs, right? The reasoning for that is shorts getting liquidated. The reason for that is the market is fickle and it's quick to forget, and it responds in a very fragile fashion, I would say. It responds in a very reactive fashion to news pieces. Now, given that we are in a bear market, I believe we are still at the psychological phase in the market where we're responding better to small little pieces of good news than we are responding negatively to objectively bad pieces of news, right? Case study, this pump here spurred on by peace talks in the Middle East and by ceasefire in the Middle East. Never mind the fact that we didn't have a war before, right? Which is obviously a fundamentally negative thing for markets, for risk assets. And all of that basically points me towards the conclusion that longer term, this bear market isn't over yet. In fact, far from it. But there we go. As always, I am still looking to buy spot into the sell-off. Short term, I think we're likely to see a bounce pretty soon because too many consecutive red days and too many leverage shorts in the market. As always, purely my opinion, shared just for entertainment. Really appreciate you watching it. Consider subscribing if you enjoy these daily market updates. Stay safe out there.